you watched the last video, you saw that I swapped out the generator and the regulator because they were bad. In this video, I do it again. Except for I got an alternator on eBay, so hopefully that works better than a used generator and regulator. This alternator is basically an off-the-shelf conversion kit that you can get from pretty much any of the VW vendors. I picked it up used on eBay, so I'm not sure exactly where it came from or the exact part number for it, but it's basically a Nippondenso alternator for a Kubota tractor and other industrial applications. Generator's out. That went pretty fast. Guess it goes pretty easy when you've done it before. This didn't come with any instructions, so I'm gonna have to play it by ear, but it looks pretty simple. This looks like it just goes right there. This one looks like it goes right there, but the stud is too short, so I'm gonna have to go see if I have one of those in stock. So I pulled the stud out, and it looks like there's enough length there if I pull it out a little bit. So we'll try that first before I switch it out to a bolt or something. straight, but I'll just have to wait until I start it up and make sure there's a little bit of a adjustment in there. They've got a slot there for adjustments, so if it does squeak, I can move it a little bit. Now on to the wiring. I'm just going to be using the stock power wire for now, but eventually I might run a heavier gauge cable from the alternator down to the starter, so there's a more direct route to the battery. But for now, this will work. The stock ring was a little bit too small to fit on this stud, so I just put a little split in there. It'll work for now until I get around to putting in the heavier gauge cable. I ran out of daylight yesterday, so I didn't get video footage of everything, but just a little tip on installation. Install this part onto the alternator first before trying to slide it in to the fan housing, just because there's not a lot of room. Then for wiring, there's one wire here that goes to key ignition power, so I ran that right over to the coil, and then one for the light. I had to lengthen it a little bit because it wasn't quite long enough, so I spliced it there. But otherwise everything seems to be in the right spot. The seal doesn't quite fit the way I'd like it to. And the other thing I did was I ran the motor and then I loosened up this bolt here just so the alternator would kind of self-center itself, and then tighten it back down, and it seems like it's pretty straight now. Here's what I did in the back under the seat. I used one of these OEM VW connectors. It's a 3-prong. It'll work, but I'm sure I've got just a straight connector around somewhere. I just couldn't find it at the time. And this here is temporary. I just cut the connectors off of the regulator. It was junky anyway. And then just kind of drilled out one of the holes a little bit bigger and ran a bolt through there. And then I'll tape it up so there's no sparks. Of course, it's only temporary until I run a bigger cable from the alternator to the starter. But then again, I ran temporary fixes for years because I just don't have time to do anything, but we'll see. Alright, let's try this again. The light comes on, so that's a good thing. And it goes out. Well, I got that fixed now, so maybe I'll be able to do a driving video. I should probably do that before something else breaks. See you in the next one.